will hide inside this pen. Let conscience clear us. We don't have to choose sides. Let's just.
Also, very close to Terrence. Okay. I just wanted to give you a little background about the Close the Deal show. It's been in existence for almost a year. Has it been a year?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit over a year. It's actually just exploded to levels that we didn't expect. He actually started just with YouTube videos and interacting and negotiating and networking. And every day we have a new idea. Hey, what about this? And hey, what about this? This did work. Let's do this. So it's just kind of developing into something that's very amazing, and there's more to come. It's very exciting. This is a very exciting time for Terrence and myself. Just the people that we're meeting and networking with and the connections that we're making, absolutely amazing. So I would like to thank all of you for coming tonight. It was a very small guest list, and it was just focused on the people that Terrence networks with closely and on a regular basis. And we would like to thank you for coming. We're going to have two speakers tonight. One of course, Terrence, and also Shelly Winner. We want to personally thank Microsoft for allowing us to have the event here. Shelly was actually eventually, well, you'll meet her soon, but she was actually responsible for the networking with Microsoft and allowing us to have the event here. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll be right back, you guys.
Yeah. And she's going to speak to you tonight about a few things. So I would like to formally introduce Terrence McCrae, the CEO of the Close the Deal Show. And once again, thank you for coming.
First and foremost, thank you all for not only just showing up, but for showing your support. The Close the Deal Show, what is that? Close the Deal Show is about educating the Bay Area on new business strategies. How so? And everything that we do, it's about business, whether it's going to the local store, trying to buy the right type of product for the right type of price, or whether it's buying a car, or whether it's buying a home. But we all want to connect with people in order to get the right type of price. So ideally, you know, when you do buy your clothes or when you do buy some hygiene products, you want to know exactly what you get. So what we like to do is share information. And the type of information we like to share is business strategies. You know, we don't want you to buy something and not know exactly what you're getting for it. So we bring experts on, people who have been small business owners or who are venture capitalists or nonprofit organizations to educate you on how to make sure you're getting the right type of deal. Because a lot of times when we buy something, we might not get what we actually looking for in return for what we're paying for. We want to get exactly what we're paying for in return, okay? So the reason why I created the Close the Deal show is because I was in a situation formerly incarcerated. And unfortunately, when I was incarcerated, I didn't have good communication skills. And those good communication skills led to me making poor decisions. From those poor decisions, I was able to make a transition and changing my life around, saying, you know something, I have to learn how to accept things for what they are and move forward and not hold that against people. So when I start meeting people, I start accepting the fact that I'm in a position to learn from you. And the easiest way I can learn is by listening and observing. So I start watching the people who start making the right type of deals and connecting with the right type of people. And that didn't take long. What that took was time and effort. So through the Close the Deal show is we try to get people to tune in, watch the show, with little time that it shows, in order for you to gain some information from somebody who's learned how to sustain and continue success in business. So ideally, right, when you leave here and the people that you met while you were here, you was possibly able to close the deal. Why? Because you established a relationship, a communication, but overall, the next time that you can see this person, business relationship to where you never know exactly, you know, how you were able to close that deal, other than the fact that you shared your information. And the information you sharing today is the same information that they're going to remember you by. So this is why they decided to continue to interact and socialize and get to know a whole lot more about you. So this is what the Close the Deal show is about, getting to know the people who you're doing business with. And once you get to know that person, right, it can be more than just business. It could be a lifetime. It could be something that you can gain something from. This is how I was able to learn through an organization called Defy Ventures, which is a basic program that teaches individuals how to lead, how to manage, and how to redevelop character. And one of the things in business you got to have is character. I did a show today with Marcus Ogden, an ex-NFL football player. And he said one of the things you have to be very aware of in business is not to be aggressive. And once you realize that if you're aggressive, you're pushing people away, you got to reach out on and recognize and own that, and then move on to recognizing how to change that. So this is very important for you to identify when you're doing business and closing the deal and not being aggressive. So always remember, in order for you to close the right deal, you want to make the right connection. This is how you was able to get here. So I want to bring on Shelly Winner, who also made this possible and is another member of Defy Ventures, someone that I had the opportunity to meet and help me close the deal and bringing this all to you at Microsoft. Come on, Shelly.
Hi. Thanks for coming out today. I didn't really prepare much, so I figured I'll just get up, introduce myself, tell a little bit about my story, and then maybe talk about my nonprofit that I'm getting ready to start, since this is a business mixer. How does that sound? Very good. All right. So my name is Shelly, and I'm actually a formerly incarcerated individual. I was in the Dublin Federal Prison across the bay. I went to prison for drugs. I sold drugs, I did drugs, and I grew up with my father. He was in and out of prison most of my life for drugs and alcohol. And statistics say that 70% of children follow in their parents' footsteps, and so I would have to agree with that. I started selling drugs to support my habit, and I got really caught up in it, and just like this snowball effect. And right after my arrest, they told me I was looking at 10 years. And not only was I looking at 10 years, but I found out I was pregnant. And that was the pivotal turning point in my life, and I knew at that moment I needed to turn my life around, that I wasn't going to be the same kind of person or the same parent that my dad was to me, to my son. My dad glorified drug use. He got me drunk for the first time at the age of 11. And he told me when I was growing up in high school, he said, listen, if you ever bring drugs home, you have to share them with me. That's the #1 rule of this house. And he was selling drugs out of our house. There were people coming in and out of our house at all hours of the night, buying drugs from my dad. And they would also steal things from the house, steal things from me. It was just a crazy environment. But going to prison, finding out I was pregnant, was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And so I decided to change my life. I was going to do whatever it took to change my life. And so, don't get me wrong, I was scared, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Going to prison is one of the scariest things you can possibly imagine. But I went to a very good prison. It wasn't like what you see on TV. It was actually really chill. The women's prison is a lot different than the men's, I will tell you that. But while I was there, one of these amazing programs that I got to do that helped change my life and mold me into who I am today was Defy Ventures. And we have Defy here in the house. Yay! Yeah, so we have a few Defy graduates here also, and I'm so thankful for that program. It taught me entrepreneur skills, leadership skills, and skills just to get out and be a successful person and reintegrate into society. So with that being said, Catherine Hope, who was the CEO and founder of the company, took me under her wing. While I was in prison, one of the things that we did was a Shark Tank style competition, and I ended up winning the competition. So Catherine Hope was at that situation, and she said, you know what, I see something in you. I wanna help you grow, and I want you to come speak with me when I go and raise money for a company. I said, sure, absolutely. So she started me off on this speaking frenzy, and I've been speaking all over. And I just got back from Germany, and I shared my story out there. And I ended up in Germany's biggest newspaper, which is like the New York Times of Germany. So I'm very excited about that. My story's getting spread in other parts of the world. I talk about how I turned my life around, how I got into Microsoft, how they rescinded my job offer because they found out I was a felon, and how I fought back and I didn't give up and faced with those barriers. So now I'm using that platform, and I want to start, I am in the process of starting a nonprofit. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Last Mile. Raise your hand if you guys have heard of it. Okay. I want to start another program like the Last Mile. I think the Last Mile is absolutely amazing. And it's something that, for me, when I first heard about it, I thought, that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to help change people's lives. I want to give them skills to, you know, when they get out, they have hope, and they can get not just, you know, a minimum wage job, but they can get a job making $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year. You know, where they're not going to go back to that life ever again because they don't have to, because they can provide for their family, and they have retirement, and they have medical. And so, so this nonprofit, what I want to do is I want to go into the prisons, and I want to start do an immersive boot camp inside the prisons. And I want to get funding, or I want to get, you know, any company that needs a website or you know, some kind of coding done, have them pay the inmates, you know, $50 an hour or something, versus $250 an hour, which is what it would cost normally. And then that way the inmates can learn how to code and you know, make a wage also while they're in that, which is better than, what is it, $1 an hour? Not even that. What is it, like 25 cents an hour? I think they make right now. So it's ridiculous. Go ahead. This is Jeremiah. So this is my program manager. You know, post-release program manager. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So I want to start this nonprofit. I've already got my team built. I've got a donor. I'm in the process, in the works of filing the paperwork on Monday. So everything is looking really awesome. And you know, if you guys know of anybody you can connect me with to help me out, know of anybody who might want to donate or, you know, whatever, I'm open. Like, help me out. So yeah, that's my story. Go ahead.
So, I'm Jeremiah Dupre. I'm the post-release program director for Winner Circle.
Yeah, it's called the Winner Circle, by the way. I'm sorry.
And I'm also Shelly's boyfriend. Yeah, I have to put that out there. Are you kidding me? She's amazing. And one thing, the thing actually was, it's actually 8 cents an hour they make. In the CDC, California Department of Corrections, it's 8 cents an hour. I don't know if you guys have heard, there's been a whole lot of protesting going on where they're basically saying it's slave wages in there, and they're really standing up for it. And one thing that the Last Mile has done is given these guys not only an avenue where they can earn a true wage inside a prison, but also a marketable skill where they can take it and go out and make a job that they can live in this city. I mean, let's be realistic. San Francisco is extremely expensive to live in. We're talking, you know, a 6-figure income for some of these people. So, but it's not just the dollar value at all. The main thing is that the sense of worth that someone is feeling when they really become, this is a real job. This is something that they can be extremely proud of.
Yep.
And they can take this to show their family, and their family's proud of them, and they feel like they can do anything with that. You've given them hope. You've taken the stigma of I'm an inmate and made it, okay, I might be an inmate right now, but I'm also a programmer. I'm a coder, and I'm going to get out and I'm going to be able to do something in life and take care of my children, my mother, my sister, my brother, my family, be proud of me. So that's where I kind of come in as the post-release program director within Winner Circle, and that's on top of what the Last Mile is doing, and they're amazing. I don't know, like some of you did raise your hand. Basically, they teach them coding, and they get out and they get them sponsored. They go through boot camp, and they get hired onto a tech company. What we want to focus on top of that is also a lot more soft skills. So where can take and say you were to get out, I want to get with you and base your program, what we're going to do, on your individual needs. You know, you might have 4 children and a mother that's sick, and you might never have ever even have had a resume. So let's get all of those things together. Like, let me take what you have and what you don't have, and then let's incorporate everything we can to get you into that. And at that point, then you have your individualized plan that we can actually make them more successful on a singular basis. So that's where I think we're going to be extremely successful. But I just want to share that with you guys, and she's the most amazing I've ever to that. So, you know, thank you guys very much. And
So yeah, how much time do we have?
We good.
Yeah, we good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. But there's something else. There's something else I wanted to say, and I want to thank in regards to, a lot of people don't know, but the people in the audience, a majority of them have already done the show. Could you please focus the camera on Mr. Bill Well? This is Jasper Smith. If you having financial trouble and you want to learn more about how to manage your money, please reach out on Instagram, and before you leave here, make a connection with this gentleman. But this beautiful woman over here,
The nice coat.
oh my God. If you don't know who Donna Karen is, well, this is her new competitor. Please stand up. Please say who you are.
I'm Feline, and I designed these coats, Feline of San Francisco.
And this woman has also, Feline has also done my show with fashion models. So if you haven't seen it on YouTube, go to the channel, okay? But at the same token, before you leave here, fellas, make sure you get her business card, because I know you got a woman and I know you have a mother, and they can all get a nice coat. See, this is how we close the deal. All right?
Women have their
This
own
is what
money
this
now,
show.
parents. They
Exactly.
can buy their own coats.
Exactly. But this is how we close the deal on the Close the Deal show. And if you don't know about my good friend Robert Flores, Ronald Flores, you can also learn, okay, if you already got a business, and some of you do. Some of you have nonprofits, but some of you don't know how to do all the booking because you don't have all the time. And y'all about to start a nonprofit. This is the man you need to deal with, okay? So ideally, you will be able to see how I was able to make all these type of connections through this wonderful program, the executive director of Nor Cal Defy, okay? Through that opportunity, I've had the opportunity to meet people as you stand here before today, not only engage, but learn. Because see, my 2 mentors, you can't forget them, okay? These my 2 mentors, Rebecca Carter and Dave Cowell. They also started a nonprofit. And when I was released, who you think picked me up? This beautiful woman right here and her husband, okay? And to this day, they still here with me. Why? Because whenever I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do, driving while texting, Rebecca don't play that. She got me to close the right deal. Okay? So these are the type of connections I make. But through the blessings of the Creator, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have this beautiful woman closing every deal that I make. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So eat up and get a gift basket, drink as much as you want, but most importantly, before you leave here, gain a new friend. Oh yeah, we're gonna do that raffle right now. We can do that right now. So I'm gonna shake this up. Y'all put your business card in here?
no, I have a business card yet.
Oh.
We haven't.
Put a business card or
The new one,
we
definitely.
have cards we can write your name on. Is everyone's name in there?
Everyone name?
Yes? Feline? Yes.
Well, if you drove here, tonight might be your lucky night. You're gonna have some gas money to get home.
I know. We have to let it. We can't turn it back.
Okay? That's why I'm spinning them around. Who gonna be the lucky person?
Smoking mirrors. Imagine this just all makes sense. The world.
No, I want I got plenty of them. Let me give you $50.
Well, how you decide to spend the contemplate.
This is what happens when you come on to close the deal.
Let's do
Oh no. connections we make.
like it's alive.
Please, meet a lot of people, eat a lot,